afternoon. We're here today to talk to you about Alfresco Federation Services and why a customer would need Federation. In an ideal world, organizations would have one legacy content management system where they're managing their content, their records, and the metadata about those. But in reality, it's a bit more complex. Most organizations have 2 to 3 content management systems. It's hard for users to know which system to go to find information. There's no centralized view for e-discovery, no way to enforce legal holds across those systems, and all this results in a high cost of e-discovery. One answer might be just to migrate everything into Alfresco. However, that doesn't take into consideration the applications that are built on top of these legacy systems. So you'd have to determine what content to migrate. You'd need to rebuild those applications, both which require a lot of time and effort, leading to long project times. So we're introducing Alfresco Federation Services to solve this problem. And what that allows us to do is to leave content where it lives. So we'll create a pointer inside of Alfresco that points to that live content. We provide federated search for users to search across all those systems. And users can live in the familiar applications that they're used to living in. However, if they're an Alfresco user, they can also access that remote content. The other option is to do intelligent content migration, where we can move content over time as it's being accessed once those applications have been moved to Alfresco. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do a live demo for you. So the screen that we're looking at right now is our Federation Services Administration screen. You can see that we have a connector session where we're creating our repository connections, so those legacy content management systems. Our output connection would be feeding into Alfresco. We have authentication connections to authenticate user credentials to those systems. We can also run e-discovery so that we can basically map out the structure of that legacy system, so the folder structure or library structure, metadata associated with those different types of content. From there, we can create job mappings to map the content from the legacy system to the Alfresco system, and then we will run and monitor our jobs. So we're going to look at a collaboration site inside of Alfresco, and you can see that I've got a number of folders for different legacy systems such as Box, such as email, file servers, OneDrive, SharePoint. So we're going to use SharePoint as our example today. So you can see we have an open structure here. Nothing has been migrated in or stubbed into Alfresco yet. So we're going to run our job, Alfresco SharePoint to Alfresco, where we're going to manage and place. So I'm going to click on this little arrow to start the job. And you can see that the job is running, and as we choose to refresh, we'll see the number of sites that it's read. So it's read 22 documents already. We'll see the number that it's written, and the job has actually been completed. So if we flip over to our Alfresco view and we refresh, we can see our sites, and it followed the structure that it got from SharePoint. And you'll notice that, again, we have just a view of that document. We can see that it's already been declared a record. But if we go ahead and just click on this single document, again, it's taking time to open up the viewer inside of Alfresco at this point. We are able to still view the document, and of course then we bring over the metadata as well. The preview works without bringing the document into Alfresco. And you can now see that we can see the document in our viewer. If we scroll down, we can also see that this is coming from our Office 365 system, and then we can see the metadata from the retention schedule about this. For demo purposes, I actually have this eligible to be destroyed immediately so that you can see it being destroyed in the repository. I'm just going to flip over to our SharePoint system so you can see that we did bring all the different files in from SharePoint, and this is going to be relevant when we go ahead and destroy that piece of content. So with that, we're going to flip over to our records management site. And we're going to look at our file plan for our SharePoint records. So again, these will have been saved as a record inside of Alfresco, and we can see them in their file plan. I'm going to go ahead and just manually cut these off. Typically this happens on a 5-minute cycle, so we're not going to wait 5 minutes for that to happen though. We can see that it's been cut off now. We have a visual indicator, and if we go ahead and we look at our SharePoint system again, we can see that we match the structure there. So we're just going to choose a couple of these documents, and I'm going to go ahead and just destroy them. So choose my destroy option. We're prompted twice, would you like these to be destroyed? And it will give me a message back that it has successfully destroyed these. Right now it's going out to the SharePoint system and it's destroying from there. If we flip over to our window, well, we can see it said it was successfully destroyed. We're also leaving the option to have the destruction report created so you can defensively prove that you have disposed of this content. We can see that we now have no document there, but we've retained the metadata. And again, if we flip back over to our SharePoint system, we can see that those two documents have been destroyed from SharePoint. So this is a great example of how we can manage in place using Alfresco Federation Services and our Alfresco system. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at www.alfresco.com. Thank you.